Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brandon Wheeler. What I have straw mouths because, long story short on that, I had like heat stroke thing when I was in the army, so I can't talk about if I'm biting down on something. That's why this. But if you're watching this video, uh, then welcome. I am a little bit of an indie author, and I am a veteran of the United States Army. Now, you're probably watching this and thinking like, okay, what's the whole point of this? Well, I'm going to be detailing my Army story. I've been out for over a year, and originally I actually filmed this video last year. Once I get to that part, I'll tell why, but it couldn't be uploaded, which I'll detail later. But I am here to tell all my Army experiences and everything like that, so if you're watching this, good for you. Welcome to my channel and everything. And welcome to my story. Now, first off, before anything begins, my comments in everything I say are my own. It's not reflective of the Department of Defense, Department of the Army, or anything governmental or anything like that. My experience in the Army and everything is going to be completely different than everything you went to because it depends on your unit, the time you're in right now, and everything else. Okay, so don't take that. What I'm saying is the branch of how everything's going to be in the Army. It's not. Okay? So, probably about every Monday, I'm going to be uploading a video detailing my Army time and everything like that. But if I can't make it and everything, then it's going to be like the following Monday and blah, blah, blah. As far as upload schedule. But I'm going to try to make Mondays Military Mondays. Now, as I am filming this, this upcoming Monday is going to be Memorial Day, which gets into the first thing I want to talk about. You're watching this and you're probably thinking, okay, you might have been like me, like, all right, I want to join the military or anything like that. But the big question you have to answer for yourself is why. And this is something even the Army, and I'm sure the other military branches talk about, is finding your why. And what do I mean by that? I mean finding why you want to serve and why you're doing everything you're doing. What drives you? What is pushing you to do it? Some of you may want to join the Army because, like, hey, I need the money. Okay, be honest about it. That's fine. Some of you are bored and like, I don't have anything to do with my life, or I don't have any direction I want to do. Hey, sure, do Army service or whatever for a few years. That's fine. Or you want to use it for college, you need money for your family. That's fine. That is perfectly fine and all that you want to do. For me, this is getting back to my backstory of why I joined and everything. That's why the title of this video, From Civilian to Reception. When back at a high school, or even before that, growing up, I always had a draw to the military and everything like that. My dad came from a long line of military vets and everything. My dad was a Vietnam vet, though towards the end, but he did go to Vietnam. Though the major thing that happened to him actually was in West Germany. I don't know everything that happened in Nam when he was there, but he wasn't there as a combatant role. But the thing that happened to him was in West Germany. That's how long ago that was. When West Germany was a separate country. But so I grew up around that. My grandfather, Korean War vet, but I have to talk about this because also Memorial Day and getting into all that. But I grew up, with a lot of pride and everything about military service and everything like that and stuff. Now, my dad never pushed me to want to join the military. He kind of hoped because since between me and my brother, I was the one that had the more lingering affection for doing that and everything. Like I watched his military movies and stuff like that. So I was more accustomed to that idea. Well, going into high school and everything, I was really thinking the Marines. Like I had a giant poster on my wall and everything like that. High school for me, I graduated 2010. Okay, it's 15 years ago. Weird to say that, especially now. It's May where people are graduating. It's weird, but I didn't really have a hankering of whether I really wanted to do that or if I wanted to go to college or do stuff with filmmaking and everything like that. So I ended up doing nothing. I took advice and everything from the time that I thought was good. That hey, just kind of go into workforce, do stuff like that, and that's what I did. But then I didn't do anything, not for a long time. And the ministry I was part of in 2017 at the end broke up and everything like that. And I was just praying, like, Lord, I don't know what to do. And I was in a bad financial strait. Like, my car I had was broken down. I couldn't pay it off because the loan on it and everything. So I had to basically, it was broke down. I had no money to fix it because I spent everything to fix it up until that point until I got a cracked hip gasket. And I couldn't do anything to afford to fix it. No money. So I had to just pay that off. It took 2 years to pay it off and everything like that. It was just, I was in a miserable time. So I had no church and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And thinking back and everything, I was like, Lord, I have regret not joining the military because that is something I legitimately wanted to do. It was very awesome and everything. And I just, not doing it is like between the two options of college and military is just like, I wanted to do the military. Well, that February in 2018, two answers happened. One, I got a where I'm supposed to go to church thing because I'll give a little slide testimony about that real fast because it's a little bit funny. Um, I was working at Dunkin' Donuts at night, and this girl comes in through the drive-thru and everything like that, and I recognized her. She was the daughter of a customer I had when I worked at Walgreens because I worked at Walgreens for almost 6 years, and I saw them and everything. I even said bye to them, but I left for Publix and I worked there for a year, and I was still working there and at Dunkin' at the same time. And this time it was on Valentine's Day. I had no thing to do, so I was like, okay, to get some extra money, I'll work on Valentine's at night, and I did that. And she came in, and just talking and everything. But I had a thought: ask her where she goes to church. Now, here's the thing that you have to understand: asking her where she goes to church. You would think, oh, that's an innocent thought, but here's the thing: when I was in the ministry, I was part of it and everything. I was used to working about 70 hours, almost a week between two jobs and everything. So I didn't really have a lot of times for friends and stuff. I was constantly tired. Honestly, those years are almost like a blur because of how my life was during those periods. It's just like, because I didn't really get to hang out with anyone or anything like that. The only thing I knew was like, okay, if I had time off and someone invited me to a coffee shop, I'm like, okay, let's go at coffee and I'd talk at coffee or anything like that. That's what I'm used to. So I didn't know that was the case. But asking someone where they go to church, you would think, well, that's an easy thing. But I didn't think of it that way. She was younger than I was, and I was just thinking, I literally had the thoughts like, no, I am not going to ask her because that would seem like I'm hitting on her or something. I did not want to make it seem that way. I refused to do that. Honestly, that's how it was. In instancy, that was what it was. And it was taking a long time. This new coffee machine we have for espresso and stuff, that coffee machine is supposed to be all new, but it was not. But I didn't want to ask her. I said, no, I'm not asking her. As soon as I said that in my head, she turns to me and asks, so where do you go to church? Okay. I was like, all right, Lord. Well, so I ended up telling her kind of my situation, batting me out, and I visited the church, and then I visited some other places still, but I felt called to the church, and this is the church I've been going to ever since. Although, oddly enough, side note about the asking the coffee thing, because I didn't know that was like a romantic interest stuff at the time, because I was just used to, my viewpoint is like, hey, just going out to meet friends and stuff. I asked her to coffee once in a text, and she said, like, no, I'm not interested in you. And this, I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? No, I'm not thinking about that at all. It was very embarrassing. And I explained, like, no, that's not what I'm talking about at all. I just want to be friends. I'm not talking about any romantic stuff. So that was funny. Or anything is like, that's not what I mean at all. So again, not knowing anything in the scenes, stuff. This is a little bit going somewhere. Don't worry about it. But back to the military thing. That same month, I always remember that February and everything, I get something in the mail. And it was a letter from the Air Force. It said like chaplaining and stuff like that. But the weird thing was, I hadn't received anything from the military of any branch since I got out of high school. And here it was, years later, I get something from the Air Force. And I'm just looking at that, and I just have this sense on the inside like, I have a second chance. So, I I didn't tell my mom at first, but I go and talk. I tried to talk to the Air Force, but it didn't really seem like they wanted to talk to me. So I was like, okay. So I went to the Army. He looked me up and down and said, you need to lose weight. Okay, because I was over 210 pounds at the time. Then he wanted me down to like 185 or whatever like that. It took 2 years to do that. 2 years to get down to that normal weight. Now, that is just the beginning of everything like that, and we're going to get into that. But that's part of where I came from and everything, being broke out of everything, and getting to my why. The reason why I really wanted to join the military is not even just because of family history and traditions, because I wanted to. I wanted to do it, and it was something I always wanted to do, and to try to accomplish something for once in my life. That's what I wanted to do. Now, part of the why, and concerning what this upcoming Monday is about, this picture right here. I took this picture when I was stationed at Fort Hood, and that's now Cavazos. You see, this field is a field of boots. What is this field? This field is the boots of soldiers who have died in combat or so, or just with whatever training exercise, whatever happened. These boots belong to all of them, and they do this every year, to my knowledge. So, I took this picture when it came up during that Memorial Day series when I was there. Of course, there was things when I was stationed in Korea and everything like that, but this always stayed with me. And I think of this because the reason, whatever your why is, the reason why I want to talk to you about this is because you have to realize whatever is driving you to go in the military, either A, those boots that are out there on the field may belong to someone you know that you may serve with or anything like that, or they may become yours. Now, not every MOS job in the military is something that is combat related, but no matter what, if you're deployed or anything, be ready for combat possibilities. Like, oh, I'm a 42 Alpha, I'm a paper pusher. Does not matter. If you're deployed to a certain zone or whatever like that, it's like, oh yeah, all these guys are down with COVID or a sickness or anything. We don't have anyone to go up in the turret and the Humvee. You're up. Well, I'm the paper pusher. Is like, you're up. Because, next man up and everything like that. So, you have to kind of realize what you're going to get yourself into. Because I'm informing you to be informed and ready for when you go in. Not just physically, but mentally. So, and getting into my family history has something that affected me, oddly enough, from World War II. Like I mentioned, my grandfather was a Korean War vet during that time, but his two brothers served in World War II, Art and Russell. Russell was killed in action, somewhere, I think, in the Philippines or so. I think from what family gathered or something, he got cut in half by a machine gun. Essentially going over a hill trying to help some buddies. Why is that relevant to me? Well, by the time my dad wanted my older brother, when his first son, he wanted to name him Russell. Here's the thing. My grandfather had 3 sons. My Uncle Lee, my dad, and another son. He named him Russell. Russell would die of crib death, or so, whatever it was back in that day. He didn't live long, and I think it was before my dad was born. But this was very troubling to my dad and everything, because he didn't get to know a brother he never knew. And of course, it was named after a brother that my grandfather had lost. So when it came time to the family, finding out that my dad, wanted to name his, firstborn Russell, they also told him of a cousin that fell out of a tree and fell on a picket fence and got impaled. His name was Russell. So Russell became a cursed name, and they intervened and said, do not name your son that. So that's why my brother's name is Sean. So a weird roundabout way of how that affected me and everything like that. But you would say well, that's kind of drawn out, but family pain, it goes through generations. I mean, your grandfather loses a brother, tries to name one son after said brother, and he loses that one. Pain and stuff, how things jump to generations is different. And it's weird that I had this family pain. I can't explain it other than that's what I had. And it wasn't until I was serving in Korea that a cousin of mine actually had a picture of Russell. And I saw that picture that I felt that pain go away. It felt like seeing that picture, I had closure. And it's weird to say that, but that's how it felt. So I decided I wanted to join the Army, if nothing else, just for me, because I wanted to do it. But yeah, continue on some family legacy and stuff. Now the why, but that was my why, to do something with my life. And do something, serve country, family, everything like that. Now, yet, whatever why you choose when you join in the military, you got to keep hold of it. And it's going to be a common theme as you go in, and it's going to be a common theme as when I talk about these things in the videos, because if you lose your why, you may lose another battle. And I don't want you to become that number again. Too many numbers have already happened to that. So yeah, you need to define your why and make sure that you're ready to put it all on the line and everything for your battle buddies and everything else going forward while you're in. Just be mentally and everything prepared for that, because there are opportunities, things arise. Just letting you know. Now, the 2 years that it took to lose weight, I tried joining a gym and everything. Of course, kind of injured myself a couple times trying to, do some weight stuff. I really started practicing running, because that was not something I did really beforehand. Like, I did soccer when I was a kid, but my mom and dad wanted me to get ready for, high school and stuff, so they pulled me out in middle school, and then I didn't do anything else afterwards. And so, well, because partly I had like a injury stuff when I was a kid and everything from soccer, because I took a break for 2 years and came back and everything like that. But it was, long story short, when I was in high school and stuff, I didn't do any running stuff. And so to try to get used to running and everything, I started trying to do some like 5Ks and everything like that. And I found out I actually do enjoy running. Running is fun, but it's one of the hardest things for me to freaking do. And it's tough and difficult. Now, at the time, I don't know what it is now, but the military ATF things and all that, you had to run like 2 miles and then like 21 minutes. That's actually very doable to run 2 miles in that time. It's tiring, but it is very doable. Now, I think it's going to be switched to maybe you have to do 16 minutes, 2 miles in 16 minutes, or maybe 18 minutes. That's a little bit harder. Still doable, but a little bit harder and everything like that. So I would say, again, try to prepare you and everything. If you're considering going to the military, it doesn't matter what branch, you need to make sure you're starting to run. Try to begin running now. Start off slow. There's running apps that you can start off with. That's what I did. Of doing things, run around your neighborhood or run around a high school track, go to the gym. Don't just use treadmill. Trust me. Running on a treadmill, you're like, hey, I'm doing fine. But then when we get outside, it's like, I'm doing terrible. It's completely different from hard surface, actually outside in the elements, versus treadmill in a controlled environment. You need to be actually outside doing things. Just as a pro quo. Weightlifting and everything, yes, you do outside, but you need to do things on the outside, including doing push-ups. And some other exercise that you may even looked up before. Like make sure you're doing your stretching and everything like that. But here we go. In 2020, when the COVID pandemic thing happened and stuff like that, and because I kind of lost contact with the Army thing at the recruiter station that was in Kennesaw at the time. So I went back and everything. They kind of said the same thing about trying to lose weight. I think it was about 198 or so in that time. I don't recall. I might have been a little bit less, like maybe 195 or something. But I still need to lose more weight. Well, they had these like training days on like Saturdays or whatever. They're like get soldiers, future soldiers program to get people like ready for stuff and everything like that. And this is why this video that I recorded last year couldn't be posted then, because I tried to play a song that was played and it seemingly got copyrighted and wouldn't let the video be posted. It would not let it, and it was very pivotal for the video that I made, so I couldn't use it, so I had to scrap the entire thing. Thanks a lot, YouTube. But what was it I'm talking about? Well, you see, sometimes you do exercises to music. Mind you, I've never done like exercises and stuff because I was always working and everything. I had some gym stuff, but to go to the gym and everything was kind of pointless during those periods because I was always working all the time and very tired. But so I was doing things like that, trying to increase, workouts and everything like that. But this was this thing. Have you heard of a burpee? I've never heard of a burpee up until that point. Never heard of a burpee up until that time. But I quickly found out what a burpee was. Have you ever heard the song Thunderstruck? I never heard Thunderstruck in my life up until that point. I can never forget it now. Because you know what we had to do? They played the Thunderstruck song. Me and these other guys and everything. Like, we do it for an exercise, run around the boat and stuff. But there's this one thing we did. Is that during this song Thunderstruck, at the word thunder, you of course you're running in place, and at the word thunder, you'd have to do a burpee. Go listen to the song. And you tell me how many times the word thunder is mentioned in that thing. My legs hurt so bad after that day that I cannot forget it. And every time I think of that song or hear that song, I associate it with that day and how bad my legs hurt. It sucked so bad. But if you're joining the military or whatever, oh yeah, you have to embrace the suck. Just so you know. Oh yeah, that reminds me, if you're going to be going into the Navy or anything like that, you have to learn to swim. Because in their thing, you have to do like some swim stuff with their tests and everything like that. So if you're in the Navy, make sure you learn to swim. Forgot about that. But moving on, for the Army purpose, Burpee sucked. That song sucks. I have no good memories of that song, and I refuse to listen to it out of pure ironic things of hating myself. Just because that song was like, ugh. Yeah, I tried playing that in the song of the vid last year, and nope. YouTube said, nope, not allowing that. So, like, fine. All right. Anyway, I get down to enough weight, about 188. I get down to that, take the ASVAB and everything like that. I scored like a 88, 78, something like that. But they said, like, oh, yeah, you can get this and that. Now, what was offered to me was just 88 Mike. What I was thinking, what I really wanted was to do like a 68 whiskey, which was the medic. That's what I really wanted to do, is something medical side and everything, because I had an interest in medical things and everything like that. But that wasn't offered to me. So I just said, I think there was a little bit of pressure and everything, but I just said, sure. But I will say, if you're feeling pressure and everything, don't be afraid. It's like, I'll wait till just say, like, I'll wait till the MLS I want is back, or something similar comes up. You can walk out. You don't necessarily have to do kind of what I did. I just said, sure. Because I was like, you know what, I'll just take whatever. It's fine. And in my case, would I change it? Not really. I would do whatever. It's fine. It's okay. So, 88 Mike, which is motor transfer operation, just driving trucks or driving whatever they tell you to drive, which is like, okay, that's fine. I'll do that. Not what I want to do, but it's fine. So, I find out later on, though, the G10 score, which is different. I still don't know exactly what it means, but the G10 score, whatever they said, I found out like from like sergeants or later on, said like, you could have had any job in the military. You're smart enough and everything. You could have literally had any job you wanted in the military or anything with like your old high school grades and everything. Like, why did you just choose to be a 88 Mike? I'm like, that's all was offered, really. It's either that or be cannon crew. And I was like, So, but again, what I want to tell you is be informed before you go in. You listen to naysayers. There'd be people saying like, oh, don't join the military. The people say, join the military. I know a lot of people saying, don't join the military, blah, blah, blah. You need to make that decision for yourself. Find your why and define why do you want to go in and stick with it. So, because the final decision is yours. I just want you to be aware and prepared and ready for when you go in. So keep that in mind. So I get down to 188. Start the process of getting involved and everything. Go down to this fort, same place I took the ASVAB thing. Do the, swearing and everything of the legions, constitution, stuff like that. And lo and behold, I'm now going to be joining the military. Yay! But we go down to this. I get everything set up. I quit my jobs and everything like that. Everyone gives me sends off and everything. Say goodbye to church and everything. And basically I'm a home family life because I've never been away from home before. It's just the way it is. To give a little reference and everything about my dad, I mentioned him about, long story short, about 2015 though, he had like series of strokes and it's kind of come down with dementia and everything. About 2017, we had to put him in a veterans home in Augusta where he's been ever since. Doesn't necessarily talk at all anymore. Sometimes he can say something, but that's where he's been ever since. So it's been my mom here and she's been retired, and my brother, he lived on his own with someone for a while, but now he's back inside the house and everything. I have a couple of roommates, and I'm back here doing college and stuff and everything, but I'll get into that. But I'd never been away from home before on my own. So, and all that time, so I was like, all right. So this has been the first time and a big step. And for all of you, it may be a big step getting away from home and everything all the time. Some of you are just joining right out of the high school gate and everything, but for me, who's been at home and everything, some of you coming with families, you're leaving your spouse and everything, it's gonna be a lot. But which gets into the culture shock issue, which I will speak on, but detailing what happened. What was it called? Fort Gordon or something? Somewhere in Atlanta. I go down to Atlanta. Oh gosh. Your recruiter's probably going to give you a bag or like a list of things to bring in your bag and everything like that. Like bring this amount of socks, bring this amount of shoes, bring this, bring that, bring that. No. Listen to me. No. Look at my eyes. No. Do not, and I repeat, do not bring hardly anything on that list. You need like maybe the clothes on your back, maybe one change of clothes, make them small, and a pair of shoes. maybe some toiletries. That's it. Do not bring tons of stuff and everything on that list. Do not, because main thing is in reception and basic, you will not have access to any of that crap. You will not have any of it. You will not have any of that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy these shoes like what I did because every day I'm going to need them for the military and everything. You will not need them because they're going to provide them for you. Kind of, because you're going to have to pay for them. You'll see. But just don't bring hardly anything of that stuff. Don't bring perfumes. Don't bring stuff. Yeah, maybe you can bring some deodorant. That might be, you might be able to use, especially if you have like some allergy stuff. You can probably bring some soap. You could probably bring that. That'd be good. You could bring some paper for letters and everything like that because that's going to be important. Of course, your cell phone, but do not bring bags and bags of clothes. It will make your life so much better. Don't bring that yet. Okay, just don't. All right. Big thing on that. So we go down to the crewing station. I think I had to get dropped off at this place. My mom dropped me off and everything, or my brother did. I think my brother did, actually. I called my mom on the phone and everything. They tell you what to do and stuff. You wait around the station for a while, the army side of things, because Coast Guard go there and Marines go there. And then we get driven up to the Atlanta airport. And we're not flying out. We're just waiting for all the other people to fly in from all the other recruitment stations and everything like that. I remember this girl. She's a little bit taller than me. I'm about 5'8". So she was probably like 5'11" or so. She had this bag bigger than her that she was carrying around because seemingly she got hurt, I guess, during her basic or something. So she was still carrying around all the stuff that they gave her because they said, well, when you healed up enough, you want to stay in, cool. When you come back, you'll be back into the same spot that where you were. This poor girl. She had to start over from the beginning. She had to be recycled and everything like that. Cycled is basically when your phases. This is what it was at the time. I don't know if it is now. There was phases of the boot camp and everything. Red phase, yellow phase. Well, it's kind of yellow phase. White phase, blah, blah, blah. But if you didn't pass or exceed the expectations and everything, you would restart the phase with another group that was still going through that. Or, depending, you would send how egregious it was or anything like that, you would get sent all the way back to the beginning of boot camp to do it again. Here's the easiest tip for you about boot camp. It may suck during the time, but it's actually not that bad, and the fastest way out of it is just to complete it. Because there were guys who, they said they didn't want to do Army stuff anymore. Time I was in AIT and stuff, I think they were still there. Months later. I think when I graduated at AIT, they were still there. Months later. It's like 4 months, 5 months later. So just complete boot camp. If you're going to go through it, just go through it. But I'll get into that. So we get on all these buses once all these people, arrive and everything. And we're driving up to Fort Jackson. All the way from Atlanta to Fort Jackson. We get driven up there and everything. The bus driver drops us off once at McDonald's to eat one final meal before going in. Cool. Mind you, we're on a bus and we have to wear, this is during 2020, during COVID, so we have to wear masks the entire time. Have to have masks the entire time in boot camp and everything. Again, this is part of the reason why my military experience is going to be different than yours, because I went during the whole height of COVID and crap like that, and the mask sucked. Especially when it was hot. It sucked, because you still had to wear the masks. Glad that's over, but we get driven up to Fort Jackson, or whatever it was, and here it was at reception. Reception's the worst part of basic. Are you doing anything physical? No. How's it the worst part of basic? Because you're waiting so long. We get up to reception. And this is where I will do the disclaimer culture shock for all you people. You may not exactly be like me. I didn't necessarily live exactly a shelter life because I started working right out of high school. So I heard people, plus depending where you go to high school and everything, you may hear a lot of people cursing and stuff like that and saying a lot of stuff and doing a lot of things because all their different backgrounds and everything like that. So I was kind of used to that. But for all who may be like joining from like a very Christian background like me, but you went to like Christian schools and stuff like that where you're not necessarily exposed to all these different things. Well, there's going to be a lot of people using the Lord's name in vain and cursing and saying a lot of foul language stuff that you're not going to like. And there's not really one thing you can do about it besides like, hey, don't say that in front of me, but depending on who the person is, they may use that to try to provoke you and everything like that. So you just kind of have to not grin and bear it, but embrace the suck and everything like that. Now, I bring up the culture shock thing because there might be things that you may see that or hear that happen that aren't necessarily good. And I'm about to describe one of these things. Getting to that. But we get to Fort Jackson, and normally you see videos at the time beforehand, like when I was watching stuff, like I used to watch Matt Ward videos and everything like that. Drill sergeants getting on the bus and yelling at you, like, get off the bus, get off the bus. That didn't happen. We arrive at Fort Jackson, it's like 1 in the morning or something like that, 0 dark 30 or whatever it was. And we stop, and seemingly drill sergeant got on. He's just talking real quietly, normal, like talking to everyone at the front of the bus. I'm at the back. I didn't even know he was on until people start getting off. I'm like, wait, that was the drill sergeant? So we get out and everything. So we go out there, and the drill sergeant was angry. He wasn't angry like, argh. No, he was just angry because he mentioned, like, they brought me out of retirement for this, because just because you're out of the military doesn't mean your service is done. Especially during the COVID thing. I guess they had people struck with COVID, so they needed people to come in, so they pulled him out to try to be like, to help out with everything. And he's just like, they pulled me out of retirement for this. He was not happy, especially at 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, boy. But they search all your bags and everything like that. That's why I say, don't bring all that stuff. Don't. Especially if you're a lady. Ladies, do not. Girls, please, don't bring all that stuff. Don't. They're going to make you throw it away. You get all that stuff thrown away and everything like that. Now, again, Fort Jackson is in South Carolina and everything. Depending, again, where you go to basic, it's going to be completely different. Like, even though my MOS is at Leonard Wood in Missouri, I was sent to Jackson, whereas a lot of others were sent to Leonard Wood because they have the one station thing where you train your basic and you just move right next door to the same place where your AIT, your actual like boot camp that actually focuses on your job aspect. But for me, that wasn't like that. But if you go like, what's it called? Benning? Is it still Benning now? At the time, it was Benning. Or whatever else, Bragg. It's Benning. In Georgia, which is more the infantry side of stuff, your boot camp is especially going to be different than what mine was. So if you want to run infantry, that's what you're going to do. But no, we had 88 mics. We had 42 alphas. We had a girl's cannon crew. We had a guy that was going to be a 68 whiskey. I'm getting ahead of myself. But, okay. We go to this reception place. We get sent through these lines of stuff. And we get these, like, clothes. And say, these black, shirt and shorts. And say Army and everything on them. We get our first uniform and everything. And mind you, this is all happening in a couple hours, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning when we're finally brought inside a room and say, okay, go to sleep. And maybe it's like 5 o'clock or something like, okay, so we try to get some sleep. There's other people sleeping in there, and then they wake us up. I don't even know what time, and they bring us out. So basically, sleep-wise, unless you can sleep within an hour and a half or something, or it was probably even less time, you did not sleep at all, because you're up basically all night, and then you run out there to be at formations and everything in the morning. They gave us this MRE for breakfast, which I've never seen this before in my life, and I had no clue how to open it or activate it. So you have to do like put some water in and stuff, because you have these like water packs, like Camelbacks and everything. They give everyone a Camelback, and you have to use the water to get it to heat up and stuff. To this day, I still have not got one of those things ever to work. The entire time I was in, I still don't know how to get those things to heat up. Like the one time I did, it was like too burning or something like that. So I've always eaten my food cold. I never bothered with the heat pad or anything. There's like a breakfast one, there's a lunch one. But the breakfast one, I didn't know what I was doing. No one really knew what they were doing because it was night, cold. We were very tired. We're basically going to be up for basically 24 hours at this point for the rest of the day, because basically reception, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to be doing your dental checks and taking pictures of you, getting your shoes, getting your dog tag, a whole bunch of different stuff planned and everything like that. Even if you don't get your dog tags, you're going to get them like later on. But, oh yeah, COVID shots, COVID tests during that time. And when it rained and everything like that, you live in these I don't know if it's different now, but you live in these rooms that were the lockers were I accidentally locked my stuff in a locker once. Bring locks. I will say that. Bring locks. Like the combination locks or whatever. I remember what your combination is. I accidentally changed my combination one time, and I couldn't get it open, so the natural way is to cut it off, but I didn't want to do that. A guy actually knew how to undo locks, and he actually figured out the combination. I don't touch people, but I actually gave him a hug because I was so freaked out. I was like, I'm going to lose my lock, and I'm not going to be able to get my stuff inside the locker. It would have been very bad. But you're basically just waiting around at the place because they had to sit outside, still wearing masks and everything. And we're just sitting around. We're not really doing anything. It's just kind of like, that's why the reception's the worst, because you're just waiting. You're not doing anything. You're just waiting. And it's just sitting around and waiting and just doing all the different stuff. Oh, yeah, this place is too full and everything. You have to wait for another day. Okay, we have to leave and come back the next day or something. It's just stuff like that. Like, ugh. The chow hall wasn't necessarily open for us, so we had to get all these, like, tubs and everything, hot A's, and we had to assemble them and put them in a line, and we had to choose people to serve the food, and then we had to clean up and take them back. This is the thing that happened every day, and it happened for like almost a month of this going on, and it's just like, so I leave in September, like it was September 9th when my official days like started and everything like that, and it's not till the end of September till that's like over. It's like 20 something days. But at this point, it's just kind of like, this is annoying, and I want this to stop, because it is annoying, and you want it to stop because they're constantly doing cycles. You have all these different people waiting and everything in one group. They're like group 72, group 73, and then they get sent out to basic at a time because they're all in a certain schedule and everything like that. Okay, nighttime stuff. Of course, you have showers and everything like that, but nighttime stuff. Have you ever heard of Firewatch? You would never forget it. During reception or basic, you have this thing called Firewatch, which is basically someone has to be up and watching at all times. And for right now, it's for only an hour. So you could sit up and everything for an hour and everything. So it's like, okay, so you have to take, basically you're doing a shift of staying up and watching over everything. Well, here's the thing. Some people don't want to, because you may try to arrange it like, okay, you do this time, 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. But it's just kind of like some people, they don't want to wake up. So if they don't wake up, that time is missed. And if, sometimes there's drill sergeants who do checks around the nights times and everything. They will do checks. So if you're not up, or they don't find a guard up, guess who gets waking up? Everybody. Fortunately, I don't think that happened to me, but plenty of times, I'm sure, especially in basic, it happened. So if you're put on Firewatch for an hour and stuff, it's an hour. Get over it. Go do it. Go wake up the next people. Go to bed. And don't go to bed until you know those people are up. Because they may say, oh yeah, I'm getting up. You go to bed, and then they look and see no one's around. They go back to sleep. Then everyone's going to get screwed. Just so you know. But at night, going back to that culture shock thing, I'm going to be a little crass here. You have a little bit of access to your phones during this time. The reception for us was spotty, I would say. It's not really strong enough, especially in those buildings and everything like that. You couldn't have them during the day. You could only lock them up in your locker and everything like that. Pretty sure I heard a gentleman, 90% sure. Again, those coming from different backgrounds and everything, maybe more clean backgrounds, Christian backgrounds, or whatever like that. There was a gentleman, I'm trying to say it in a certain way, playing with himself at night, because you could hear it. Mind you, you're on bunk beds, separated by feet between each other. Some of you have like a single bed, so you're like, oh, okay. So to do that out kind of in the open at night and everything, that's stuff you deal with. Now, I'm going to give you some tips about stuff. This uniform here, this is my first picture I ever took of me in my actual military uniform. Look how I look, 188 and everything with the look and everything. I shaved my head before going into this. There was another guy who shaved his head before going into this, and he got like 3rd-degree burns on his head because of the heat and everything like that. Whereas me, I think I was a little bit sunburned, but yeah, don't necessarily shave your head before going in. I know you may want to, but don't necessarily do that. Just wait for it because it's going to happen to you anyway. Don't worry about that. All right, now a couple things that's going to happen that you need to be aware of. One, they're going to give you a laundry bag. Sometimes you have to carry the said laundry bag with you. I'm sure it's probably still the same way now. Make sure you always have possession of said laundry bag, or give it to someone who's going to hold said laundry bag for you. Don't just walk away from it. I told a guy, hey, can you wash this laundry bag for me once? He said, sure. I went to the bathroom. I came back. The laundry bag wasn't with the guy. The drill sergeant took it as soon as I left. He said, you need to make sure you have the laundry bag at all times. Fortunately, I got it back, but sometimes they don't give it back, just so you know. And make sure the guy actually watches it, because I asked the guy, could you watch this? He didn't do that. Uh, you're going to learn these things called general orders. While you're in reception, these are the general orders, at least in the Army, you're going to be learning all the time. So I have them on screen for you. I'm going to read them for you verbatim. Here's the first general order. I will guard everything within the limits of my posts and quit my posts only when properly relieved. You have to memorize these, know these very well, and everything. Second general order. I will obey my special orders and perform all my duties in a military manner. Yes, you will be quizzed on this. People will ask you, what are the general orders, this and that and everything. There's even more than 3, but just in general, these are the ones you want to know. Third general order. I report violations of my special orders, emergencies, anything not covered under instructions to the commander of the relief. Know those 3 things. As I had a sergeant say, it's free chicken. This is free chicken for you. Learn these now. You also start learning the Army song. Just go look that up. It's easy to know. First I fight for the right. Da, 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 da. So you're going to learn all that different stuff. You're going to learn different things. Study about the military rank and everything before going in, stuff like that. That way you know the different things like that. Study about the general orders. Study about your MOS. Just try to study up on whatever else you can do. Some things will be applicable. Some things will not be, but it's just the way it is. Now, you're going to have this thing called the Eagle Cash Card. What is the Eagle Cash Card? At least this is what it was at the time. The Eagle Cash Card, you'd think, oh, all my paycheck is going to be going home. It's going to be taking care of everything I have at home. Wonderful. You need to make sure your stuff is arranged to be taken care of for that first month without any pay coming in from the Army. What do you mean by that? Have you heard of the Eagle Cash Card? The Eagle Cash Card is what you're going to be using during basic. It's going to be used to cover your expenses and everything there, because they're not going to give you everything for free. Your shoes or whatever, oh, you may have to pay that with the Eagle Cash Card. All your toiletries and everything like that, Eagle Cash Card. They basically put one of your paychecks that you're going to be getting, because it's direct deposit or whatever, and they're going to put it on a little debit card that you're going to have to use all throughout basic. And you got to use it, because if you don't, by the time you leave, like basic or whatever, it's void or something. No, that was never really clear. They said it would go back to your account, but I was told it didn't actually, so I don't know. Basically, you have that money and you have to use it all throughout basic you have to pay for your haircuts, everything like that with the Eagle Cash Card. But wait, I thought my pay was supposed to go back. It's just, hey, that's what it is. Learn Army cadences. That's going to be something for you. I say that in conjunction with the Eagle Cash Card, because there's one Army cadence I know. It's like, they say the pay in the Army, the pay is mighty fine. They pay $100 and take back 99. Not a joke. Not really an exaggeration in that way. But the Eagle Cash Card, it did throw a lot of people for a loop, because they were like, wait, what? I have bills and stuff to pay at home. I have this and that. And you're saying that like $700 that I was supposed to get is going to be on this card? That's how it was during the time. So what you're going to have to do is make sure your finances for the first month, because that's the month of reception and everything, that you're going to try to have it already covered. Just as free chicken there for you in that idea. Now, you're going to have a bunch of vendors come up to you in reception and in basic trying to sell you stuff and everything like that. Like, hey, get this picture, get this, get that. I'm not going to tell you don't get some things, 'cause it's good to get some mementos. And like, oh, yeah, I get this for that. I wanted to get like a kind of a film experience of what I had for basic, but it kind of covered everything I had for basic. If I could find that, I'd show it. But it has different stuff like that and everything. You can get some things here and there, but it's going to be draining on your money and stuff like that. So don't succumb to all the vendors and stuff that come by. You need to be wise and hold on to your money. Okay, to use it for all the different stuff. Towards the end, if you have money left over and you don't want to spend on anything else, yeah, sure, use it for whatever. Fine. But at the beginning and everything like that, till you know what finances and stuff you're going to be facing, don't be getting and succumb to all the different vendors they bring to you and stuff. It's just, I hate to say gimmicks, but just, it's one thing to get mementos, but don't get everything. Yeah, make sure you tell your family and stuff as well. I just reminded because I looked at this picture. Remember how I said I didn't tell my mom that I was going to be doing stuff for the Army and everything like that? Well, I had a friend. She's older than me. And I told her that I was thinking about going to the military and everything. And then I said the Army eventually and everything like that. And I was talking to people about the Army stuff all this time. Hadn't told my mom yet. Well, she was older than me and everything, and she decided, because she was inspired by me trying to go in the Army, that, oh yeah, I'm going to try to join the Air Force again. She's joining the Air Force Reserve, and she's in. But she made that comment to my mom, and I was like, oh yeah, I was inspired because Brandon's thinking about joining the Army. I'm going to join the Air Force. That's how my mom found out. So I was like, well, I was planning to tell my mom that, but I hadn't told her that yet. So that became funny. But I have her picture in her uniform thing there, so it's like, okay. So you have different stuff that happen and everything like that. You try on your uniform, make sure everything fits. If something doesn't fit, make sure you say, hey, this doesn't fit right, take it back, because it's just going to cause you pain and stuff issues later. Especially with your boots. Oh gosh, boots are annoying as crap, especially the boots in basic. You can get garments and different things later on. Those could be fine. Those could be great. I use garments and everything, but in the basic boots sucked. They hurt your feet and everything. Maybe if I got a size larger, but even if I got a size larger, I don't even know if they would make any difference because how they felt and everything. No one likes the basic boots, okay? They're uncomfortable, they make your feet hurt. Oh, they should be easier to go on sand and everything like that and walking around and stuff because they're boots, right? No, they're not. Here's an idea. Bring Dr. Scholl's with you. And if you can, get, what was it? Moleskin. There's going to be things you can buy at the stuff. Invest in Moleskin. I was fortunate that I didn't have to, like one time I needed to use it, but get Moleskin stuff. Invest in some medical supplies when you go to the stores and everything when they let you, because not only would you necessarily be a lifesaver to you, but to your buddies and your battle buddies around you, you may be as well. Trust me, it can add up. Trust me. Unless you have people sending you stuff from home from mail. Because again, during this time, you have your cell phone. You can kind of talk to your family at home at night, in the morning. But you don't know where your mail is going to be going or anything yet till you get to your actual basic unit and everything like that. So just wait. Supposedly, I think you can have your phones now in basic or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I don't know, because I guess all the COVID thing changed that. But during the time, we didn't do that. So we didn't have any mailing address or anything for us to people to send to, not till we get to the unit. So, yeah. Towards the end, which, I don't know, it's like 20 days or something like that, felt a long time. Finally, we get selected to like, oh, hey, your troop is going to finally go to your basic unit and everything like that. It's like, finally, reception's over, because the waiting sucks, just waiting around and everything like that. We get different dots, and the different dots show where you're going to go. Like some got a yellow dot, some got a red dot. I think I got a black dot. I either had a black or a yellow. I don't recall. I think it was black. But you're waiting around and everything, and you get duffel bags. You have to put all the military gear that they give you, either sticking in these bags and everything like that. They could be very heavy. So again, definitely want to do some weightlifting and stuff like that. I should have did a lot more before I went in. But again, you want to invest in running, invest in weightlifting, especially if you're a lady. I feel sorry for you. If it was heavy for me, some of the girls, they're short and everything like that, and they still have to carry the same amount of load that us guys are carrying. Gosh. Be prepared, ladies. Just, if you're a girl watching this, be prepared. It's not going to be easier for you. Oh no. It's going to be worse for you. But we finally get selected. Reception was finally over. We get selected. We get sent on these buses. We're kind of crammed in like sardines, holding these bags that we have. Some are underneath the bus, some we have to hold. And we get driven to our spot in Jackson. And then basic would finally officially begin. Now, you're going to be learning also something else. I just remember this, but I'm going to talk about it real fast before I end the video. Stuff about like reveille, retreat, the flag operations going up and down. You have to be out at a certain time when you hear the flag go up. You stand to attention, learn about how to stand in attention and everything. Of course, you're saluting for the flag and everything to go on. And then whatever unit song there's played. You have that during the day. Even if you're not doing anything during the they have something during the midday, you have something at night. Although at night, you're probably more likely in, so you're not going to necessarily always hear that. But during those times, make sure, you stand up, stand in attention, stuff like that. Do as they say. Follow what the drill sergeants say to you at all times. They're there to get you in, get you out, and inquire of them. Ask them questions about anything you need to learn and stuff like that, because they're there to give information to you and everything like that. Be supportive of the people around you. Help them out and everything. Don't be that guy that's going to be a pain to everyone, because there's always going to be that guy. It's going to determine whether you're that guy, though, or not. So basic has a lot of stuff I'm going to start with, but I got letters I got to go through because the letters are kind of like my journal that I had because I sent a bunch of letters home and everything. I sent like a letter a day because I was writing so much. So there was all that. But yeah. This is my civilian to reception video. Me talking about everything going through my army story and stuff. I hope you like this. Again, I'm going to try every Monday. If not, if it won't happen on Monday, no, it's going to be on a different Monday or something in the future. Talking about, my army experience and everything, starting off with basic next week. The first phase, the yellow phase, red phase kind of deal. It's going to be probably, I already know basic's going to be multiple parts and everything because there's a lot of stuff to cover and everything like that. So, in summary of this video, for you to learn, do physical training now. Don't just wait till the military because, like, oh, you'll learn and you'll lose weight before you go in the military. Do it now. It'll make things a lot more easier for you and everything. Even if it takes a couple of years, do it now. That way you can get ahead and be a lot better fit going in. Even at some sort of level. I was still vastly, I feel, unprepared going in, but I was still probably at a better level and more fit at any time in my life up until that point. Do running because you want to work on cardio stuff, especially do running, and definitely do some weightlifting stuff and everything. Learn the general orders. Don't be a nuisance. Do everything they tell you. Don't spend all your money that you get on the Eagle Cash card if that's still a thing. And be wise and everything like that. And appreciate the people around you. And be watchful. And you can be shocked probably by the stuff you hear from people and everything, depending on your background and everything like that. But you're just going to have to just like take it in prayer and like, Lord, help me through this and everything. All right? Thank you. All right. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's long and everything, but there's a lot to go over. And there's a lot more to come. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.